And here with us this morning is a singing coach, a mum of 2 autistic daughters, Carrie Grant, also our health editor, Dr. Hilary Jones. Morning to both of you. Carrie, I mean, you know, you'd have seen that and thought that's an all too familiar situation, having 2 autistic children. What is the impact for you of how that's been?
I think the first thing to say is that autism is a spectrum, and what we've seen there is a child that's non-verbal, and my children are high-functioning, so if you met them, you wouldn't even know they had autism. But I think one of the things that we're seeing with this report is that it's very clear that parents have to be bridges, and you are a bridge between the autistic world and the neurotypical world, and you have to learn that skill to be a super parent as quickly as you can. So the fact that this report is saying children between the ages of 2 and 4, if their parents get trained up and tooled up, basically they can have a really big difference on their child's quality of life. I think that's fantastic, because it normally takes you about 5 years just to get your head around it.
I can imagine, or even get it diagnosed, actually, or understand what it is, because that's often a huge battle.
Yeah.
What changes did you make to the way you dealt, because you've got 4 children, haven't you? 2 of which are autistic. What changes did you make to your pattern of communicating?
I think it's about learning to read your children and actually work out that they're not just it's not just about verbal communication. We're all making communication all the time. So, for instance, with Talia, my Talia, who's now 15, but when she was a baby, she didn't cuddle at all. But I noticed she would talk to my hand, so I thought, this is great. I'll make Hand Mr. Hand, and I'd say, I'm just going to leave Mr. Hand on the pillow. You can chat to him while I'm having, while I'm talking to Dad. She would have fantastic conversations with Mr. Hand. She would lavish affection on Mr. Hand. So very quickly I learned, actually, I can talk through this method of communication and actually make a bridge for her. Then we could lose the hand and she could just chat to me.
The interesting thing is you obviously picked that up as you went along. Do you think, though, for the parents out there who, are wondering how to deal with it, obviously this new research points to a way that it could be done, but this is going to take a lot of money and a lot of support to be able to see it through, isn't it? Do you think that backup is going to be there?
I think that there's lots of stuff that's already happening. The National Autistic Society have their early bird programme, which is pretty much the same as what's going on with this research. So it's about knowing that your children are going to have problems, possibly with self-esteem, with a lack of resilience, with anxiety, thinking what can we be putting in place at the age 2 to 4 to really help them to build blocks so that those issues aren't quite as bad for our children.
Hilary, how important do you think this is? Because it occurs to me that obviously it's especially important with children on the autistic spectrum, but actually all parents could helpfully use, you're nodding as well, helpfully use some time to analyse the way they're communicating with their youngsters. And it's a bit of our parenting we often forget, don't we, until too late.
Well, when a parent can recognise unusual patterns of communication and social interaction early on and can intervene, giving them one-to-one time for 20 to 30 minutes every day of planned communication and play activities, this study has shown for the first time that you can change the severity of the core symptoms in autism, and that the results, the benefits, will continue for 6 years after the therapy finishes. So 7 to 11-year-olds are still getting the benefits when they're at school, and that's really the first time this has happened. It won't cure autism, it won't change all the behaviour. They'll still need a lot of educational support in the future, but it's a big step forward.
So what should people do then on a practical level? It seems to be a suggestion that you film your interaction with your child and then go and get expert advice. I can imagine lots of parents watching thinking, right, I could do that now. What can they practically do?
Well, this study has got very encouraging response from people like the National Autistic Society and other experts, and they're saying that this should be rolled out to give parents more empowerment to treat their autistic children and to learn how to communicate better with them. So the parents have therapy themselves. They have 12 sessions over 6 months and that ongoing support after that. And then they promise to do the 20 to 30 minutes one-to-one therapy with their children, and the results have been very good. So that's something that could be rolled out across the country. No tablets involved, no medication. It's just about empowering parents, and that's got to be a good thing.
Would that work for you, do you think?
I think totally. I think we miss out on the fact that parents have great assets within them, and we need to be making use of that.
And you're right, actually, for every child, right, whatever sort of their condition is. So thanks very much, Carrie Grant, Dr. Hilary.
Thank you to both of you.
I think when I was actually diagnosed with anxiety at that age, it was a case of you have anxiety, be on your way kind of thing.